Joe Rossetto. Joe, are you there?
Yes, I am. How are you?
Hey, thanks so much for joining us tonight.
My pleasure. Waiting to get on. I was more nervous than being on stage with Pacino. Gosh, I heard the Corey introduction, and I was talking, and nobody heard me.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry about that. Let me bring on your co-stars real quick. We also have Mr. Pancho Hodges from the Salome film. Pancho, are you there?
I am right here. Glad to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
We also have Mr. Jeffrey Owens. Jeffrey?
Yeah. Yes, hi.
Thank you for being with us tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we also have Mr. Steve Roman.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, Steve. Thank you so much for calling in.
My pleasure.
Okay, this might be a little tricky because we have 4 live lines here, but I'm so honored to have you all with us, and I couldn't pass up a chance to speak to each and every one of you. I've got questions for all of you. But if we could go one by one here, starting with Jeffrey, when did you first meet Mr. Pacino, and what role did you play in Salome?
I met Pacino when we started rehearsals for the first phase of the reading in Los Angeles of Salome at the Tiffany Theater, the Actors Studio space in Los Angeles in January of 2006, and I played Tigellinus, the Roman ambassador to the court of King Herod in the play. Tigellinus.
So I know 3 of you were actually in the production. Is that correct? The play production.
Steve and Joe and I. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how did
3 of us? No one else. Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you? What was your impression of Mr. Pacino when you first met him, Jeffrey?
That he was extremely generous and very gracious. I mean, we were all very aware of the fact that he's Al Pacino, and he is aware of it too, and he made it very easy for us. I mean, I'm speaking for myself, but I felt like he went out of his way to put us all at ease and just be an actor in an ensemble, and he was just very gracious and very kind throughout the whole process.
Mm-hmm. Joe, how about you?
Well, I recall the first day he walked in, we had all been together and rehearsing for about a week, and Estelle Parsons was directing the stage production, and the door kind of creaked open, and Estelle stopped and said, "I think we have a visitor." And you heard the familiar voice. You didn't see him yet, and he kind of saunters in and says, "Hey guys, how's it going?" And behind him is his little, I guess 4 or 5-year-old son, Anton, at the time. Oh. And he says, "How long you guys been rehearsing?" And we said that for a couple of days and for a couple of hours today. He said, "Oh, with dedication." And he went on to say, I've been rehearsing this play for years. I did readings and readings of it. I just love this play, guys. And he was impassioned, and he was looking us all in the eye, and we all were, at least I know I was mesmerized. I was like, wow, this is Al Pacino talking to us. And he says, there's everything in life is in this play. There's love, there's passion, humor, ecstasy, betrayal, jealousy. Everything in life. I so love this play. Everything is in this play. And all of a sudden, without missing a beat, Anton takes down his water bottle that he was drinking or whatever and looks at everybody and just says, "Yeah." In full agreement. I don't know if you guys remember that. But,
I don't. That's amazing.
He was just like, "Yep, that's my dad." It was classic.
Oh, wow. Pancho, how about you? How did you first come to meet Al Pacino?
Wow. It was funny because when I was casted for the project, I immediately started working the following day, and we also, I worked on the second phase, which was the desert sequence. I played the executioner of John the Baptist. Uh-huh. And, it was one of those kind of things where we were sitting in the theater waiting for him to come, myself and other co-stars, and, he was running late. One of the people in the production came and said, "Hey, he's running a little bit late, but he'll be here." So I'm sitting there, and for me, Al Pacino is my favorite actor. So I'm already being an actor myself, and just there's certain people as an actor, there's certain people that you have kind of like a wish list that you could work with. Yeah. And of course, Al Pacino was somebody that I couldn't even fathom being able to work with. But here I am sitting in the theater waiting for him to come, and everybody's sitting there, and all of a sudden, we're sitting there in the audience, and on the stage, we just hear these footsteps, and I kind of look around the corner of the curtains, and I just see him walking, and I'm just like, whoa. I'm like thinking to myself, wow, that's Al Pacino. Okay, wow, okay. Let me get my poise together. So, he comes up, and he's like, hey, that voice, hey, can everybody, come down here so I can speak to you? So we go down there, and he starts speaking to us, and I could just look around at the other actors, and I could tell that I couldn't have been the only one that was feeling what I was feeling, just being mesmerized as far as being in his presence.
Oh, yeah.
But the great thing about him was that he just made everybody feel so comfortable. It wasn't like he was throwing it at you like, I'm Al Pacino, you need to shut up and listen to me and blah, 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 whatever. We were already listening, and he was cracking jokes. He was, asking everybody's name and just carrying on regular conversation, and that just made it so much more easier for us, because then we had a rehearsal and we were doing the blocking of where we were going to be, our placement for the following day. So after I met him, I was like, man, this guy is the greatest, and it just made me love him even much more as an actor and also as a person. So it was great for me.
Absolutely. Steve, did you have a similar experience?
Yeah, I did. I remember Joe's story. I remember that first day being in the theater. We'd actually been rehearsing for a couple of days, like Joe said, and him coming in, and it just being such a surreal moment. But, immediately putting us at ease, and just a true professional that he is, just rehearsing with him and the process with him was very much a collaborative effort, even though he's been working on this part for years. Mm-hmm. Just very generous as a person, as an actor. It was amazing. It was amazing meeting him that first day. It was amazing working with him, and it was great times.
Mm. Joe, how was Pacino as director?
He was fantastic. My role was the young Syrian, which basically, in the beginning of the play, is lusting after and in love with Salome. And it turns out that Salome seduces him into letting John the Baptist out of his prison, out of his well. And once he does that, she falls in lust and love with John the Baptist. And so distraught by this, my character professes his love even greater in a big emotional outburst, and then spontaneously kills himself. Mm. So, so as an actor, you look at the script, I think the line is, A-H-H-H, exclamation point. And so we were lucky enough to have been doing the performance on stage before we did the film. So, working with everybody, and like Steve said, it's a collaborative effort, and really, getting connected to the material and ourselves as actors and the story we're telling and all that. So when we got to the set, we were pretty well rehearsed, which was nice, which is rare. And it was interesting because, here we are still on set, and Pacino takes the helm now as the director, and here's this big moment. I have to kill myself, stab myself, scream, whatever, do this thing, and it's going to be on film now. So and I think you guys were making, would time me every night to how long my scream would be. I was a little longer. Was your mom in the audience? But anyway, so we get to the film set, and Al was very, very caring about it. He came up to me and said, "We're going to do this a couple times. I'm going to empty out 2 big magazines of film. We're going to have 2 dollies. We're going to come in, and then we're going to come out, and we're going to do it again." So, I was struggling with it. I was kind of muscling it and forcing it and trying to, really work it. And I kind of was having trouble getting to the real place of despair that I needed to be. And he was right there with me. It got to a point where he said, "Back the cameras up, do it again. Back them up, do it again." And it got to a point where he was so impassioned. And again, it was just his voice because he was yards away. It was a big sound stage. And it got to a point where it was like the cameras on the dollies were like breaths. I felt like I was in Pacino's lungs, coming in and out and in and out. And finally he said, "Say whatever you want to say. Forget the camera. Forget the words. Say what you want to say." And that really freed me. And it was just a big moment for me as an actor with a director with this, an idol of mine. Yeah. And where I really, said what I wanted to say. I don't know what that is. I haven't seen the film yet. We'll see what I said. But something really nice happened between an actor and director, and to have it happen with him was even more special. And then what was interesting, the death scene, the big scream that was done on stage that had to reach 2,000 people. He came up to me after that and said, "We're going to do it different than we're doing it on stage. We're going to do it silent." He said, "We're just going to have the life sucked out of you. Like you're just going to..." So after this catharsis, I just had, and he did it for me. He said, "Do it like this." And he did it, of course, brilliantly. I thought, okay, I'll try, but after this big cathartic moment, of course, that silence and that death and that fall to my knees after stabbing myself was, hopefully what he was looking for. It certainly was a moment for me
Wow.
that I'll never forget.
We've heard over and over again about his generosity as a creative partner and as an actor. Pancho, what did you learn from watching Pacino at work?
Oh man, just kind of how to relax. You would expect from someone his caliber for since he was the director. That's the whole other thing that I had to get over. It wasn't the fact that if I was just in the film being a co-star with him, but I had to be directed by him. So that's a whole another thing that you have to get over. So he's standing there talking to me, telling me what he wants me to project on camera, and I'm sitting there listening to him, and he's just like, he's cracking jokes with me, and he's just like asking me how my day is going and things like that. So I'm relaxed. He's helping me out, and just watching him direct other people, he was just so relaxed, and it's just a great thing to because when you go to a set like that and you're going to be directed by someone like him, you're expecting it's going to be like a tight set, like everybody's going to be uptight. But I just learned how to just relax and just approach it the same way that I would approach any other project, any other film. No matter if I can do that without Pacino, that's just any other project that I come across, man. It's never going to be a problem for me to relax. So that's the main thing that I learned from him, just to sit back and relax, take everything in, and just approach the craft just like any other project.
Jeffrey, what about you? What did you take from your experience with him?
Just again, how he really wanted us to do our best. I remember him saying from time to time, he said at one point, I'm not going to let you look bad. I'm not going to let you look bad. That was so reassuring because he knows what it takes to look good on film. And he was going to make sure we did it as many times as we needed to, or to work the process we needed to, so that we got it to the point where we were going to look good. That's very reassuring. That was very reassuring for me. At one point, I was doing something that I'd done on stage for a while, and he just said, "Okay, just do it. It's one of those classic things. Do it smaller now. Just to me. Uh-huh. And I did it very differently than I did it on stage. And he said, he just kind of looked at me and said, "Excellent." And I tell you that excellent meant the world to me coming from him. He's just very, very generous, as I said before.
Yeah. Steve, what did you take from watching his creative process and working with him both as a director and an actor?
One of the main things I recall when we were shooting the film one day, and it was a little bit hectic. I think we were missing a prop or something, and Al was like so in control of everything. And at one moment he said, 40 years I've been making films, boys, 40 years. And we all just kind of had a chuckle and whatnot. But, I mean, the guy is so amazing in the sense that he's directing this film, he's starring in it, and at the same time, while he's acting and the cameras are rolling, he's able to say it again, take it again, and then get right back in character and be there. I guess that confidence that he exudes was something that I took from this. Also, what everyone else has been saying about how, it was a collaborative effort, what we've all said, and that he made us all feel very much at ease with our work. It was never about just him looking good. It was always about the project being good. So all of that, and just his confidence in making films.
Yeah, and it seems like too, Steve, that if you can speak to this, it seems like he is just as passionate as he was just starting out.
This is a character that he's been working on for, I think he did it in the mid-'80s originally, played King Herod at Circle in the Square production. And so he's been working on it for a number of years, and, to have that passion and to get up on stage every night and find something new in Herod, and then to, want to do this passion project, this film, this documentary of the process and everything. I mean, yes, this is a guy that, still is very passionate about it, and, he's someone to look up to.